I was a non-league player, and I've gone back to my roots really, and those who've known what I've done in between obviously a bit surprised if they don't know that, but it's where I began. I was a Woking fan, 8 years old. I went to the ground in Kingfield and fell in love with the game really, and the game's been fantastic to me in my broadcasting career. I'm a much better broadcaster than I am a coach, I can tell you that. I don't know how much that says, by the way, but most weekends I work on Sundays, so I've been able to attend a lot of the games, and at this level of course I'm meeting a lot of friends, people that I've commentated on, players that I've commentated on, players like Tommy Woodrington, I remember from his playing days, of course manager at King's Lynn now, so it's all part of the football family, and I'm really lucky, particularly at my advanced age, to still be involved in it. But it's a sad thing today, isn't it? I know we were looking forward to it. I went to university in Norwich, so I used to come here of a midweek game. We all pile into the one car, probably one student car, and we come here and watch games way back in the 1960s. So the ground hasn't changed a huge amount since then, but obviously I guess one or two games were called off in that kind of way, mostly for snow. I remember living in Norwich, it was cold all the time. We used to have frost on the inside of the windows in the student accommodation, but today it's very wet, and I drove up today. The players came up yesterday, but I drove up today, and I must say I got a bit of a sinking feeling the further north I got that it might be like this. The ground staff have worked really hard to try and get it on, but it's not to be. We'll be back on a Tuesday, I guess, to be arranged. We wanted to play, we wanted to get a bad result out of our system really. The home defeat to Aldershot wasn't good for anybody involved. It wasn't just a defeat, the performance wasn't very good. The players know that. We've all been doing some analysis on it, and soul searching if you like as well. So we wanted to play, no question about that, but we haven't got a game next weekend, so we've now got a couple of weeks to get. One or two players have come back from COVID, would have been involved today, but you know, it's always a little bit of a risk. They probably deserve a bit more recovery time. They're going to get that now. So hopefully we'll be able to approach our next game, which is home to Wealdstone, which is a big game, and hopefully we'll be able to do it with a full squad. What would you have done with it if you'd had to commentate in the match? We talked before the game about mud, didn't we? Yeah. And mud doesn't exist for young commentators and players these days because the drainage is so good normally. But when you get when I started every game after about the middle of October till the middle of March, players got caked in mud, and it was hard identifying, and that's the most important part of our job, identifying who does what and getting those names right, isn't it?
I think I would have looked at the game not on a technical standpoint, just more of a survival standpoint, looking at how the players are actually trying to not use all their technical ability and just trying to keep the ball on the pitch and not bouncing. I would have looked at who was performing better at not scoring goals but actually keeping Woking from getting our own half. That's what I would have looked at first, and it would have just been about analysing who's better, not by
who adapts to the conditions best. Yeah.
That's probably what I would have done first, and then looking at obviously the end result is obviously something you can talk about at the end, but obviously I would have looked at that first.
I would have given you a briefing if the teams had been announced. Don't worry about that. But the truth is, it's a wonderful job being a football commentator, and King's Lynn are very lucky to have a young, ambitious guy like this who wants to get on to the very top. And I don't know whether my advice is going to help or not, maybe hinder. But I wish you well, Frankie. It's been a pleasure to talk to you.
Same,
I'll be listening to your next commentary on your YouTube channel. I'll be able to get it home, and we'll stay in touch, yeah?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Cheers, good luck.
Yeah, you too.
Thanks.
Yeah.